Okay, so as we talked about last week, this is your assignment on chemical reactions. You will have the entire class today to work on it, so you should be able to get a pretty good start slash put a big dent in it, okay, and not have too much for homework, right? I am going to be looking at having this back probably Friday. That way I can get it marked over the weekend and back to you before your unit exam, okay, which is on the 14th. Okay, so that will be the plan here going forward on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some instructions for each section, because there are 3 sections to this assignment, okay, and I'm going to give you a couple of tips or hints, okay, on a few of the trickier questions, so you'll definitely want to make a few notes as we go along here. All right, so the first set of 10, okay, in the first set of 10 questions, what I'm looking for here is for each one of them to be balanced, right? So fill in the blanks. If it's already balanced, put 1s in every blank, right? Because if you just leave it blank, then it looks like it's not done. And then I don't know whether you knew it was already balanced or you didn't know how to do it. And I have to go with the assumption that you didn't know how to do it because you didn't write anything, okay? So they're fill in the blanks. If it's already balanced, put 1s in every blank, okay? And in fact, put a 1 in a blank if it's supposed to be a 1. Okay, that way I know, okay, that you've done it. So put 1s if it's supposed to be a 1. All right, and then the second thing is you've got to write it out in words. All right, so you'll have the word equation written out underneath, and you'll have all the numbers in the blanks in the equation. All right, you will get 1 mark for the balancing, and you will get 1 mark for having your reactants correct, and 1 mark for your products being written correctly in words. Okay? Things to remember on this set of 10. Roman numerals on your special metals, okay, on your multivalent metals. Obviously don't over-apply that, okay? Only use them when they are appropriate, but people often forget about their Roman numerals when they're writing the names in here. Okay? There's a few situations where that's going to be important. Okay? A few questions, maybe about a third of them, okay, out of the 10, okay, where there's a metal that needs a Roman numeral in its name, so remember that. Okay? Also, remember your prefixes if you're dealing with molecular compounds. Okay? There aren't that many. Most of these reactions are dealing with ionic compounds, but there are the odd one, okay, that are going to need prefixes, so just be on the lookout for that. Yeah, and then I will give you a tip for question number 4, because it's a tricky balance, because it's a decomposition reaction, but it's an atypical one. Okay, it's not like one compound breaks down into 2 elements. It's one compound breaks down into 2 compounds and an element. Still a decomposition reaction, but it's a little bit tricky. So, you don't have to identify the type, by the way, on the first set of 10. Okay, this is the tip I'm going to give you. That number's a 2. You can take it from there. Okay, and then number 7 is also a tricky balance. Okay, my suggestion for number 7, balance nitrogen first. Number 7 works a lot like the first reaction in our reactions lab, okay, where we've got ammonium on this side, but on this side, one of the hydrogens is gone, okay? The hydrogen that left from ammonium to here goes here, okay? That's where it went. So if you're trying to track its progress or location, the extra hydrogen that was here is now here in the water. Okay? All right, questions on the first set of 10. Okay, so balancing, writing it out in words, reactants, products, okay, 3 marks. Okay, your second set of 10 reactions. In the second set of 10, okay, you are going to identify the reaction type. That's the easiest of the 3 marks, so don't forget to do it. You'd be surprised how often I'm going through somebody's second set of 10 and I'm writing 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 because they've forgotten to identify the type, which is the easiest part. Okay, so identify the type. So all you have to do is write, combustion. Okay, beside it and identify the type. Okay, whatever it happens to be. Okay, that's not a combustion reaction, by the way. Okay. So write the reaction type, and then you're writing it out in formula form. So you're writing out the balanced chemical reaction. So you're going to get 1 mark for the reaction type. Okay, you're going to get 1 mark for the equation, and 1 mark for it being balanced. The second set of 10 is the toughest. And I don't mean the reactions are hard. They're not. They're actually easier than the ones in the first set. But if you make a mistake in writing out the equation, you will also lose the mark for balancing because you won't balance it correctly either. Okay? So, things to watch out for in the second set of 10. This is what gets people on their reactions and thus their balancing. Forgetting the special elements. Okay, so remember your special elements, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, okay, all of those ones that come as a 2, oxygen, nitrogen, okay, those ones that come as a 2 when they're by themselves. It's crucial to remember that several of the reactions involve special elements. Okay, so that's your big tip for those. Remember your special elements. And if you forget to drop and swap or do it incorrectly on any of your ionic compounds, and there are a lot of ionic compounds here, okay, you will, again, not get the balancing correct, okay? So if you make 1 mistake in the reaction, it's actually going to cost you 2 out of the 3 marks. So make sure you're careful about these 2 things because this is where people make their mistakes, okay? Dropping and swapping, but mostly it's the special elements. All right, questions on the second set of 10. Okay, so 1 mark for the reaction type, 1 mark for the reaction, 1 mark for it being balanced correctly. Okay. All right, the last set of 10, very simple. You're just predicting the products and then balancing the reaction. You don't have to you're not getting a mark for identifying the type. Obviously, you have to identify the type to predict the products, but there's no mark for that. Okay? All you're doing here is predicting the products and then balancing. Okay? So it's 2 marks for the products, 1 mark for the balance. Okay? Even if there's only 1 product, it's still 2 marks. I only say that because there's 1 reaction when there's only 1 product, okay? And you get 2 marks for that single product. Okay? So 2 marks for the products, 1 mark for the reaction being balanced correctly. Okay? Big thing here again. People rarely make mistakes on this section involving not putting the right things together. Okay? People generally get the patterns right for all these reactions. It's those 2 places that they forget. Okay? They forget a special element or they drop and swap something incorrectly. Okay? All right. Any questions on that?
I left my periodic table open.
Whole bunch up front here. Okay? So if you need a periodic table, there's a whole bunch more up front. You can come up and get one. I will be quiet now and sit down, and you guys can get to work on that and get as much of it done as possible during class. Okay? Okay, so in this first set of 10 here, yes, all of these have been dropped and swapped already. Okay, so you don't have to add in anything in there. These are all done correctly. Okay, all you have to do